Everybody, what is up? It is Lynn. Welcome back to my channel. Girl, we have got to get into this Deaf Noodles and Papa Gut drama that kind of came to a head on a Twitter space last night. Now, girl, I was actually in this Twitter space. I was in it for about 2.5 hours before I had to log off and go the fuck to sleep. But I was in there for about 2.5 hours, and a Twitter space, if you don't know what it is, it's like a chat room. So I was in the Twitter space and I was hearing some women saying to Deaf Noodles basically what I said in my video about this yesterday, that, you know, having a t-shirt with Papa Gut crying because he was talking about his wife being essayed, having that put on a t-shirt, that image of Papa Gut put on a t-shirt and then trying to sell it for $29 was low AF. It was shit. You know, that is what these women were also saying to Deaf Noodles in the Twitter space when I first got on there yesterday, which was when he pretty much started it at the beginning of the Twitter space. So it went on for 6 hours or something, girl. I was not there for that whole 6 hours, but I do have a clip from somebody else's video that I'm going to share with you in this video also, like the summary of that whole thing that happened with Papa Gut and Deaf Noodles. But girl, there is so much that has gone on between these two. It is insane. Insane. I don't think I need to mention that, like, nobody has really been on Deaf Noodles' side in all of this. And we're going to talk about it while I do my makeup. So let's get into it. So people were really kind of up in arms with Deaf Noodles over the whole way that he's been speaking to Papa Gut on Twitter, the way that he's been going after him, taunting him, calling him the P word, all of this stuff. And in the Twitter space, when I was in there last night myself, you had Keemstar and Willie Mac putting up laughing emojis. They were really funny. They were just putting up laughing emojis to literally everything that Dennis said. Then you had, like I said, those few women who were trying to explain to Dennis. They were trying to explain, like, it's not okay to put, you know, somebody's essay on a t-shirt. It's not okay to do what you did. You know, do you realize that that has real effects on people? That really hurts people. That isn't comedy. You know, they're saying, okay, comedy is comedy. You're free to say whatever you want, but doing what you did was really not cool. It really upset a lot of people. And I also actually watched Adam McIntyre's video with, you know, people speaking to Deaf as well. And honestly, like, Adam McIntyre was just trying to ask him a straight up question, just trying to ask him, you know, like, why are you behaving the way you're behaving now? What's going on with your content? You know, just straight up trying to ask him. And Dennis basically talked around in circles, said a whole lot to say that he was trying to change his content and pivot. Yeah. Like, so Dennis has said he wants to move away from drama, but Adam brought up the point that, yes, you know, Dennis was literally just clickbaiting with a James Charles video. So it is, you know, really stupid of Dennis. I get Adam's point on that. It's really stupid of Dennis to be like, oh, you know, I'm trying to change my content. I don't want to do, you know, clickbaity YouTuber drama. I want to talk about politics and social issues, you know, and make it comedic. And I want to do man on the street videos. Dennis is giving it all that. But, like, you know, at the end of the day, Dennis started his channel with, you know, what he says he started it with, which was what, like, music video reactions and stuff. And he's changed to doing YouTube drama, and his audience has grown from doing YouTube drama. You know, it's a bit like if I were to come on this channel and say, I'm not going to do drama videos anymore. You know, like, I would expect the audience that I've built, however small it is, I would expect the audience that I've built so far to leave. Because you guys come here for the drama, the tea, you know, YouTube drama, and sometimes the makeup videos, but mainly the drama. So it would be really stupid of me to be like, oh, you know, I'm not going to do drama videos anymore. Because that would be like me saying, okay, I don't want you guys anymore. I don't want my audience anymore. You know what I mean? I'm glad that in the chat people were trying to educate Dennis about making those merch t-shirts with Papa Gut's face on. Because he did eventually say that he would take the t-shirts down. It took quite a bit for him to say that, though. It took quite a few people keeping on at him about that's not okay, that's not okay, for him to actually say, like, okay, I'll take that t-shirt down, I won't sell that t-shirt then. And, you know, for me, that is something that Dennis should have known not to fucking put up in the first place. Dennis is an adult, you know, and that image of Papa Gut crying was about, like I say, his wife's essay. So it was about a tragic thing that happened to his wife's trauma. And there you had Dennis trying to profit off of that by trying to sell these fucking t-shirts. Like, you know, a grown man, an adult man, should know that that behavior isn't okay. He shouldn't have to be told in a Twitter space by a group of women that is not okay. But that was what it was. You know, Dennis was having to be told by a group of women, don't do that. That's not okay. That's really mocking people's, you know, violent R-word experiences and everything like that, you know. And also the fact that Dennis has been using the P word, you know, the James Charlesy P word, to, you know, harass Papa Gut and all of that. People were calling him out on that as well and saying again that that isn't a joke, Dennis. You know, these words are real weighted words and you can't just say that it's a joke all the time and get away with it. Fair play to Dennis, right, for actually doing this, for actually sitting down for all those hours and, you know, listening to what people had to say. Fair play to Dennis for doing it, but I don't know if all of it sunk in for him. You know, particularly the parts when Papa Gut came in. Like I said, I didn't actually catch that on live myself. I was in bed by then, girl. I was spark out asleep. But I am going to pop a clip that it's Shelbye managed to get in here for you, just of the tail end of their conversation, because it's, you know, it's very interesting. And I do think that Papa Gut raised really, really valid points in this, you know, being that Dennis trying to insert himself into political and social issues, but then trying to say that it's comedy and that calling people a paedophile is jokes, you know, all of these things, when Papa Gut on his channel does a lot of work to help survivors of abuse and all of this, you know, that is his gig, that is what he does, you know. So massive respect to Papa Gut for what he actually does. But, you know, for Deaf Noodles to think that it's okay to make jokes about those kind of topics, to me, that's sick. You know, I'm a rape survivor, as I've said before on this channel. And when people are joking and joking and joking about this kind of topic, I do find it insensitive, you know. And that's not me trying to be like, oh, poor me, I'm a victim. You know, that's just me saying how I feel genuinely. It is insulting. You know, it makes me think, well, you know, perhaps Dennis has been lucky enough to have never in his life had that experience to be raped, to be attacked like that. But for those of us who have, it's not a fucking laughing matter, right? So I do really mess with what Papa Gut is saying. I do really agree with what he's saying in this clip. Please listen. This clip is from It's Shelbye. I will pop Shelby's link down below for her channel while I continue doing my eyes, and we'll come back after this clip.
Them alone was 2 hours of bickering back and forth, okay? I'm gonna roll you the condensed closing statements from this, so roll it.
All right, so here's my closing statement. Here's the reality. I've interacted with you for quite a while. After our first interaction, you made a massive mistake that you admitted, right? You've apologized multiple times profusely. At that time, I was being very charitable, and I was taking it as you were being genuine, right? I DM'd you, I said you get like a beer, this and that. Like, I was trying to really resolve that thing, despite everybody saying I shouldn't. Moving forward to this, your unprompted targeting of me in this weird way where you admitted that like you were never genuine in the first place has absolutely triggered me understanding, at least when it comes to your interaction with me, that you are wildly dishonest, at least when it comes to me. I don't think that you can, I'm never going to accept the apology because it doesn't come from an actual place of honesty. You've been doing your best to frame this conversation in a really dishonest way. And I don't think that you really care. I think that if nobody gave you backlash, your own community didn't give you a substantial amount of backlash, you would have doubled down and you would have felt powerful about it. But the reality is that I don't feel powerful going after people that I think are weaker than me, because that's what a pathetic person does. I would never do that to a smaller content creator, and I would never disrespect somebody like that. I don't think it's funny to make these types of disgusting jokes. I made one before, even though it was in good context to try to call out a predator, which is something, or an alleged predator, excuse me, which I've used my platform to do multiple times. It was still inappropriate, and I am the reason why people still talk about it, because it is something that I talk about as a failure in my career. okay? But you continuously are doubling down, thinking it's funny to invalidate. And this is what happens when you joke about these things. It's invalidating to abuse victims. Now, I get it. In your sphere, you do you. Anybody can do whatever they want in their sphere. I'm not part of your sphere. It's not appropriate to make pedophile or rape jokes. Other people might think so. And if you want to do that, be my guest. But I think it's disgusting and invalidating, especially as somebody who purports to care about social issues, right? If somebody else who didn't give a fuck about any of the politics or something made these jokes, like a lot of the commentary community, I don't really take it as personally. But you pretend to care. And you've shown time and time again that you don't. I don't think you're honest. I don't think that you're genuine. And I think that moving from here, you're going to do your best to reclaim your career. But I'm telling you, Dennis, stop trying to insert jokes. Other people might think so. And if you want to do that, be my guest. But I think it's disgusting and invalidating, especially as somebody who purports to care about social issues, right? If somebody else who didn't give a fuck about any of the politics or something made these jokes, like a lot of the commentary community, I don't really take it as personally. But you pretend to care. And you've shown time and time again that you don't. I don't think you're honest. I don't think that you're genuine. And I think that moving from here, you're going to do your best to reclaim your career. But I'm telling you, Dennis, stop trying to interact with me. And I won't interact with you if you stop talking about social issues. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about, because you are actively having a harmful impact on the social sphere. Your conversation with Christian Walker was insane. You let him get away with everything under the sun. You pushed back like one time. It was disgusting. You didn't push him back at all with like the homophobic shit he was saying whatsoever. Like, you've proven time and time again that you shouldn't be talking about these topics, and it's totally fine. Some people don't have an interest. I think that's totally cool. You shouldn't have an interest. It's fucking insane. But I do. And when you assassinate conversations in like different social narratives over and over again, you've proven yourself that maybe you should stick to talking about how big of a shit.
So, I mean, you said a whole lot of stuff, and like, honestly, there's a whole lot of it that's just the most evil human being in the world, and like the worst person ever, and I'm like such a bad person, and you know, like I'm just awful, completely awful, right? According to you, you know, even though we really have never interacted. I mean, we had like that debate, I guess, and then later on we like had, I guess, just about this past week, had like somewhat of a Twitter interaction. You know, the people who actually like know me and have met me and are around me like daily know that you know, I'm not like a badly intentioned person. I don't do things to like with the intention of like harming someone or destroying their lives. I try to as best as possible, and throughout these hours that I've been here talking to numerous people, not just you, I've been talking to a lot of different people today, and hearing them out and trying my best to like explain where I'm coming from so they can understand where I'm coming from. At the end of the day, I honestly just want to make peace. And if you don't want to accept it for some reason, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Honestly, I don't really want to, you know, create more reasons to have conflict, especially on the internet. There's already a lot of negativity, and you know, and surely some of my jokes or some of the statements that I made, you know, have helped propagate some negativity. So, you know, at the end of the day, not perfect. Going to do my best to have better statements in the future. But yeah.
Okay, so you've heard that clip, right? One thing that I really want to say about Dennis and this whole, you know, making paedophile jokes and all of that. You know, you guys, you remember in 2020 when everybody wanted to come for Shane Dawson for making jokes about having sex with a baby in his past 10 fucking years ago. Everybody wanted to come for Shane Dawson for saying a baby looked sexy. Not even having sex with a baby, for saying a baby looked sexy. And Shane Dawson confronted that topic at least 4 years ago in one of his own videos. Shane Dawson had already addressed that drama. He'd already addressed it 4 years ago, saying that he'd actually been, you know, molested when he was a child, and that humor for him was how he dealt with what had happened to him. So for Deaf Noodles now in 2022 to be being called out for paedophile jokes, you know, it's like clearly he learned nothing from that whole era where Shane Dawson, you know, was really being called out for past clips and past jokes. Like, Shane never meant any harm to anybody with his jokes. You know, his jokes were purely him dealing with his own trauma, right? So why is Deaf Noodles making a joke about somebody else's wife, Papa Gut's wife, putting it on a t-shirt, trying to sell it? Okay, he said that he'll take it down now, but like, I can't excuse that behavior. Like, okay, good, he said he'll take it down, but fuck me, like, he shouldn't have even done it in the first place. You know what I mean? He shouldn't have even had that thought, like, and thought that that would be funny. It just fucking wasn't, you know, nobody thought it was funny. Shane Dawson joking about his own trauma is one thing, and he's allowed to joke about it because it's his own trauma. The whole point is you can't joke about somebody else's trauma because you really don't know what that person went through. Like, you can't joke about Papa Gut's wife's trauma, you know, because you think it's funny. If it was Papa Gut's wife herself joking about that trauma, then yeah, fine. Because it's her trauma, it's her story. You can't take somebody else's trauma and decide that you're going to laugh at it. It's not your place. It is just simply not your fucking place. And that is my main point. And I'm going to end this video here before I go on and on and on about it. So take care, my lovelies. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go and finish this crazy drag face that I'm making here. I'm using the Sensorium Beauty Chapter 1 palette. So look, you can see this palette is destroyed, but it's got great neon colors in it, which is what I'm using all here. Lovely. So I'm going to go finish this face up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Love you so much. Bye.